15,000 dealerships. Sales, financing, service appointments, all riding one software spine. In June 2024, that spine went dark. Car lots across North America fell back to pen and paper. Buyers waited in lobbies that suddenly felt like 1985. Dealers improvised with clipboards, and the name on the outage was not a local IT shop. It was CDK Global. Tonight's corporate breach case is CDK Global. Figures from public filings and reporting. Full links in the description. We cite counts. We don't invent them. The question is simple. How did a ransomware hit on one auto retail SaaS vendor freeze car sales from coast to coast? And why did a second shutdown land the same night the first hope returned? A dealership is not a website. It is a floor of people trying to close a life purchase. Trade-ins, loans, insurance, keys, service lanes that keep used cars moving. When the dealer management system dies, the work does not politely wait. It piles up on paper. Customers feel the failure before they ever learn the vendor name. CDK was the invisible middle layer. A cloud platform dealers used to run sales, inventory, accounting, and customer systems. Reporting put nearly 15,000 North American rooftops on that stack. You do not see CDK on a hood ornament. You feel it when the computer that prints the deal packet goes blank. Invisible infrastructure. Until it stopped. This is concentration risk in plain English. Thousands of independent stores share one vendor pipe. Compromise the pipe, and you do not hit one brand. You hit an industry workflow. Sales cannot close cleanly. Inventory cannot update cleanly. Accounting cannot keep up. That is the corporate breach angle. Not a random laptop. A shared nervous system. On June 19, 2024, CDK told dealers it was investigating a cyber incident. Out of caution, it shut down most systems. Sonic Automotive later told the SEC that CDK had suspended systems supporting sales, inventory, accounting, and CRM. The company said dealerships stayed open on workarounds. The clock started anyway. For a moment, hope flickered. Reporting described partial restores that afternoon. Some systems came back. Dealers thought the dark window might close before the weekend. Then the night took it back. In ransomware stories, the false dawn is often the cruelest hour. Here is the first turn. Late on June 19th, CDK said it suffered an additional cyber incident. The company proactively shut most systems again. A spokesperson told outlets the same line. Second hit. Second shutdown. The outage was no longer a one-day scare. It was a multi-day freeze with no clean ETA. Across the United States and Canada, lots went analog. Pens and clipboards. Manual workarounds. Some buyers could not finish a purchase. Service desks slowed to handwritten tickets. Public dealer groups warned investors the disruption was real and ongoing. This is what vendor concentration looks like on a showroom floor. Security firms and wires attributed the attack to BlackSuit ransomware. Analysts described BlackSuit as a rebrand path from Royal, with Conti-era lineage in the background. Federal advisories had already linked Royal and BlackSuit tooling. CDK did not hand the public a neat confession of the brand name. The reporting did. Walk the Path, shared dealer SaaS, a cyber ransom event on the vendor, systems taken offline to contain damage, a second incident during early recovery, then an industry forced onto paper while the vendor rebuilds trust in the pipe. That is how one breach becomes a national freeze. The malware did not need to visit every lot. The dependency did the traveling. CDK later used a sharper phrase with customers. Cyber ransom event. CBS reported the client note. The company had been calling it a cyber incident in public soundbites. The paper trail got more honest with the people who could not sell cars. Language shifts when the customer is bleeding revenue. While systems were dark, CDK warned dealers about callers posing as CDK support. Chaos is a second door. When the real vendor is offline, a convincing voice can still try to walk in. That is the human layer of a SaaS outage. Panic creates openings that malware never needed. Not every giant was hit the same way. Penske Automotive Group told the SEC it does not use CDK's dealer management system for its US and international auto stores. Premier Truck Group did, and that business ran on manual alternate processes. Precision matters. Concentration is real. Blanket claims are not. Second turn. The restore was not a flick of a switch. CDK started a multi-day rebuild while dealers lived in limbo. Bloomberg reporting described multi-million-dollar ransom pressure and a plan to pay. The public still lacked a full map of what left the building. Ops pain was loud. The technical autopsy stayed thin. Then a filing made the cost concrete. Sonic Automotive estimated the CDK outage cut second quarter income before taxes by about $30 million. Diluted earnings per share down about 64 cents. Later disclosures called the quarter impact material. That is not vibes. That is an 8K trail. CNN later reported that on June 21st, about 387 Bitcoin, roughly $25 million, moved to a BlackSuit-linked wallet. TRM Labs tracked the chain. Anonymous sources said CDK was very likely the payer. CDK declined to discuss it. We do not invent a confession the company never gave. By early July, CDK said substantially all dealer connections were live on the core dealer management system. Other apps trailed. CRM and third-party integrations took longer. The headline said restored. The backlog said otherwise. Weeks of paper still had to become digital again. Anderson Economic Group later estimated about $1.02 billion in direct dealer losses across roughly 3 weeks. Their model included about 56,200 lost new vehicle sales, plus used cars, parts, service, staffing, and floor plan interest. That is a consultant estimate. Attribute it. Do not baptize it as gospel. Behind the estimates are people on commission floors and service drives. Sonic disclosed extra compensation for employees who lost income potential during the outage. Families felt a SaaS failure as a smaller paycheck. The vendor status page was abstract. The paycheck was not. Lawsuits followed. Dealers and consumers hauled CDK into court over the disruption. Filing a case is not a verdict. It is a paper trail of anger with dates attached. When an industry freezes, the lawyers arrive right after the clipboards. Third turn. The technical entry path into CDK stayed thin in public. What was loud was the outcome. 1 vendor, 2 incidents, an industry on paper, and a money story told through filings, blockchain reporting, and economist models, not through a clean corporate confession. Opacity after a national freeze is its own kind of failure mode. Stack the verified money. Sonic, about $30 million of Q2 income pressure. CNN's attributed chain, roughly $25 million in Bitcoin toward BlackSuit affiliates. Anderson, about $1 billion in modeled dealer losses. Different kinds of dollars. Same lesson. Concentration has a price tag. Cleanup is blunt. Map which SaaS vendors can stop your revenue floor overnight. Demand outage playbooks that assume pen and paper will fail at scale. Segment vendor access so a restore attempt cannot reopen the door. Train staff to reject fake support calls during chaos. And treat single vendor dealer systems as systemic risk because June 2024 proved they are. Open questions remain. How exactly did attackers first land inside CDK? What customer data, if any, left with them? How many dealers will diversify off a single DMS spine after tasting 2 weeks of paper? The outage ended. The dependency did not. Which corporate failure should we open the file on next? This is corporate breach. Sources include CDK statements, Sonic and Penske Ks, Reuters, Bleeping Computer, CBS, CNN, and Anderson Economic Group. Full links in the description. We cite counts. We don't invent them.